Now, prepare yourself to be triggered, or otherwise.
When you say nigga, a lot of people are assuming, nigga! That's gotta be racist. There's no way. I'm gonna just keep it real. There's no way that is like of our culture.
How come? Somebody answer me this question. Up until 2020, you never seen a warning appear on the bottom of a video, on the bottom of a social media post. But ever since a few of us started questioning the narrative during the last 3 years, whether it was about injections, whether it was about decisions of government, or whether it's about in the current economic climate of what's occurring, you'll hear about slavery, you'll hear about digital currency. Other people are questioning all the illegal immigrants, the women fleeing war that are actually fully grown military age males arriving on busloads into Ireland. If you mention any of this, you get a warning on the bottom of your video. But there are fully grown men in their 50s who are on TikTok, Instagram, Switch, Facebook, and they are telling little kids that they identify as non-binary and they feel just like them. And there is no warning label on the bottom of those videos to warn those children that they may be looking at a predator, that they may be getting indoctrinated, influenced into damaging themselves permanently for life. Ask yourselves that question.
$1.2 million. That's what it's taken for me to defend my boy. Now they're trying to take my boy's genitals and eventually kill him. So this is what happened to him. This is him at 4 years old. His mom, she is a pediatrician in Coppell, Texas. She had my son on her website when it raises money for her. All the while she was complaining that I was posting pictures of him on the internet. So I pointed this out in court. The next day, that's how she put him on the website. Do you know the court did absolutely nothing about this? So at the time, we had a court order which prohibited either one of us from presenting the boy in a way that he wasn't known to third parties. Somebody knew him as a girl, I had to present him as a girl. That's me picking him up. She used to do this stuff to provoke me. She wanted me to be violent. Here he is a little older. She now dresses him up like a drag queen everywhere he goes. He goes to school like this. She's given him a fake name, Luna. Despite the fact that I've told the schools they don't have my consent to do this, I've changed his name. I'm headed toward a federal lawsuit with them, which is going to cost me a lot more money. So I'm going to ask you, if you can't stop this as a father in Texas, do your children really belong to you?
Michigan's House passes bill making wrong pronoun use a felony.
You believe that the moment after the child is outside of the birth canal,
Sure.
that they are now endowed with human rights.
Yes.
Interesting.
However, when they are inside of the mother, literally anything you do to them is acceptable because they're inside of the mother.
Oh, no, I don't think anything is acceptable, but I think the mother should still have the choice, ultimate authority over what happens to her body.
But there's a child inside of her body.
Hold on.
Not
What
her.
about
Yes.
meth?
In the meth.
Like, should she be allowed to do meth?
Yeah.
Good question. Good question.
I think if someone is doing meth while they're pregnant, that it is completely acceptable for something like, I don't know what the name of the services in the United States.
Child services?
I guess
Child
DCFS
services?
would be...
Oh,
yeah.
it's her body, though.
You've used my logic against me.
Yeah, it's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the big deal?
The big deal is that she's intentionally trying to kill a child.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
In the beginning, we were all fish, okay? Swimming around in the water. And then one day, a couple of fish had a retard baby, and the retard baby was different, so it got to live.
Oh. Shit, that make your pussy throb right there.
I swear to God, I was just about to say my pussy's throbbing. Wow.
I want to know what the emergency is. Yeah? I want names and badge numbers. Why are you blocking off a whole road? There's a pregnant woman. What's your name and badge number? What's yours? So this is legal to block a whole road? For what? So what is this? Yeah, then move. Then move. Get off the fucking road. You have no right to block a whole fucking road. Fucking tyrants. Fuck out of here. Bunch of fucking clowns in costumes. Motherfuckers.
The owner of the website happened to be a Democratic politician and ran for Congress 2 times. His name is Nathan Larson. The lawyer in Virginia basically told me she didn't know what to say. She never heard of anything like this. The lawyer in Florida reached out to the local task force, let them know that I had access to the information. From that point on, all of these news stations and all the law enforcement connections, whatever you want to call them, they all were fully aware that Nathan Larson was running this website, that he was, he ran for Congress twice, that he was an extremist, he did crazy things, completely ignored. It's unimaginable. It's like, how do people think this way?
Code words pizza and cooking, and cheese pizza stands for child pornography.
This guy got arrested 6 months after. Nobody did anything about it. And, like I said, I try my best. He gets arrested 6 months later with a 12-year-old at a layover at an airport after he and kidnapped her.
Yeah. Trans women should be legally treated as women. Tell me why you're strongly disagreeing.
Because I'm a molecular geneticist.
Well, I'm not even sure. Everybody else is clapping. Okay, so tell me what that, because I count on my fingers. I know nothing about genes.
Being male or being female is a developmental process. You can't go backwards. Okay. So you can't change your sex. Like, you cannot do that. And it's so sad that women have internalized misogyny to the point where the man's comfort takes precedence over the woman's safety. There's a reason why they don't want to be in men's prisons, because men beat each other to death. Women don't do that.
Being brave is being yourself, and being transgender is about the bravest thing you can do. Did she deserve the award? Yes.
Why are we mainstreaming delusion?
It's not delusion.
Why would you call it delusion?
Because Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call him Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's her. You're not being polite to the pronoun.
Because
disrespectful.
Okay, forget about the disrespect. Facts don't care about your feelings. It turns out that every chromosome, every cell in Caitlyn Jenner's body is male with the exception of some of his sperm cells. Turns out that he still has all of his male appendages. How he feels on the inside is irrelevant to the question of his biological sex.
So you don't know what you're talking about. You're not educated on genetics.
Would you like to discuss the genetics? Or
no,
what are your genetics?
So I'd stay away from the genetics and back to the brain scans.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
So retard fish goes on to make more retard babies, and then one day a retard baby fish crawled out of the ocean with its mutant fish hands, and it had butt sex with a squirrel or something and made this retard frog squirrel.
You have been telling men for years that you don't want them, you don't need them, they don't meet your standards, that they don't treat you right. You can pay for your own hair, you can pay for your own nails, afford your own home, you can afford your own car, and are good for nothing. You're strong, you're independent. Then you get mad when these men go to another country to actually find a woman that has the qualities that they are looking for in a wife. Make it make sense. I also want to talk about why this mindset that so many Western women have is actually extremely problematic. Because not only are you putting down the men who are going overseas with pure intentions, you're also putting down the woman from these other countries solely off of the fact that they were not brought up in a Western culture. Because you're calling them uneducated, you're calling them poor, you're calling them weak, you're calling them vulnerable. You're creating a superiority complex where you are at the top and women from all these other countries are at the bottom. Now let me tell you something. If you were really superior, the men would not be leaving. And you would not be single.
Damn! Sensational.
What is this? What is this? So much ketchup. I can't eat that. Are you making fun of me because I'm on a diet? I'm upset.
That was me in the video. People found out where I work and they sent the video. I was then fired from my job. I did nothing wrong.
Yeah, there's a big man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not a man.
I'm not a man. Fuck you.
I'm a fucking woman.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not a man. I'm a fucking woman. Fucking respect that.
I think a guy should pay for the girl when they go out to dinner, I think.
Do you consider yourself a feminist?
I wouldn't say like...
Do you believe in gender equality?
Yeah.
So why should the guy have to pay for you on the first date?
Just like what Lindsay's saying, I think that there's a difference. We can separate
Okay, so
things.
are you guys traditional women?
That's a really broad question. I think that
You're expecting men to adhere to their traditional gender roles. Are you a traditional woman yourself? Because equality is not a buffet where you get to pick and choose that which benefits you, and you say no to that which doesn't.
In the entire world.
It's the shitty ass eyebrows for me.
Dude, your boyfriend died in a car accident.
Dude, like, why the fuck would you say that?
Like, cause you keep on picking on me like I'm over
Okay, but it's not good to mention him. Like, he fucking died.
And he took me in. He put me into nursing school. He got my hair, nails, everything done. So he up here on this level. I'm down here on this level. You get where I'm going? He got me up here with him because he was making good money. But then he ended up losing his job 2 years ago. Lost his job, and now he broke. What did I do? Broke up with him and got on because I'm not finna take care of no grown man. I'm not doing that.
These hoes ain't shit, dog.
But I want to say, what % of women are virgins on their wedding day? Can we answer the question?
Probably about 25%.
25%? Okay. It's 5%. What % of women have been on birth control at some point in their life? 90%.
But what are the reasons why women are not on birth control?
Wait,
I've been on birth control before, but it wasn't because of sex.
Okay, fine. That, which is all good and well until we start looking at the body count statistics, where after a woman has had 5 partners, her chance of a happy marriage drops to 20%. Okay, so, and the average woman has slept with more than 5 men. Okay, which, remember, historically, 100 years ago, 85% of women were virgins on their wedding nights. Now, what else does men get out of marriage? They get loyalty, but not today because half of women leave. Then we start to go into weight, where women are overweight. The average woman is 5'3", 170 pounds. These are just numbers, and yet we scream misogyny at me, but these are just numbers.
The issue we're battling up against is the exact reason why men shut down.
And women.
I understand that, but I'm saying it's the exact reason as a producer that a man will shut down and he will just hide everything from you and just continue to operate and go do what a guy has to do. Like, that's it. Like, when it comes to solvent, but I want you what you're doing right there. I'm trying to talk right now.
I didn't say anything.
But your mouth is opening up trying to say something
I
while
didn't
I'm
say
talking.
anything, though.
But you wanted to right
I did,
then.
and I didn't say
You
anything.
held because I held my hand up and looked right at you. But I want you to look at the tendency you have to interrupt me when I'm talking, when I'm trying to share my ideas, my feelings, or where I'm at. And all I'm asking is that as we keep progressing through this, you listen more when I'm talking. Otherwise, for me, I have less desire to share with you what I'm thinking if all I'm getting back is criticism and or just being cross-stepped and never getting to finish thoughts. All that happens is like, I'm in war mode. I don't need to stress about one more thing right now.
I'm a heterosexual male. You are a heterosexual male, correct?
Right.
So, but that doesn't make us any more manly than, say, a homosexual male.
Yes, it does.
Like he said,
And you can have whatever self-perception you want, but you can't expect me to take part in that self-perception or to take part in this kind of charade, this theatrical production. You don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions or your own adjectives. You know, it's like if I were to tell you, my adjectives are handsome and brilliant, and no matter whenever you're talking about me, you have to describe me as handsome and brilliant because that's how I identify. It makes no sense. You don't get your own pronouns. That's grammar. That's language.
So you think it's a delusion? Someone is self-delusional?
Yeah, I think it's delusion. It could be mental illness. It could be it's a lot of different things.
Can I just be real? I consider trans women to be a category of men, not a category of women. That is my opinion as a trans woman myself. So don't you dare tell me I can't have my opinion. Lord knows if I sat up here talking about I'm a demi girl that is poly and I also identify as a bookcase, everyone will be saying, oh my God, that's valid. But God forbid I say, you know what, I'm not really the same thing as a woman. And it's like, you can't say that. Okay.
Should trans women be included in feminist conversations? How about in women's spaces?
Yes, they're women. What's the question?
Pearl,
Trans women are women.
When it comes to like athletic spaces, I don't think that trans women should be allowed into athletic spaces. As female athletes, we work so incredibly hard for the little opportunity there is in women's sports. There's no barrier. There's less opportunity in some industries.
That's what a barrier is.
The problem is, like, we can't compare compete. We can't. Like, I'm 6 foot. If I go up against a 6 foot guy and I play basketball with him, he's gonna body me.
And then that had a retard baby, which was a monkey fish frog. And then this monkey fish frog had butt sex with that monkey, and that monkey had a mutant retard baby that screwed another monkey, and that made you.
The sport of baseball is a joke. And not because it's boring or I don't like it or any of that bullshit, no. It's because it's 2023 and motherfuckers are still saying that Babe Ruth is the greatest baseball player of all time. We have a 6'5" Japanese man capable of running 20 plus miles an hour, throwing a baseball 100 miles an hour, and hitting baseballs 490 fucking feet. Yeah, you wanna sit here and tell me a motherfucker that didn't face a single Dominican his entire career is better? The slider as a pitch didn't even exist when Babe Ruth was playing baseball. They were throwing Italian fucking meatballs right down the middle of the plate. Of course he was smacking them shits. Until one of you Babe Ruth truthers can find me a video of this motherfucker hitting a home run off of a Dominican pitcher who jogged out from the bullpen while listening to 1923's version of Bad Bunny, I don't want to hear it.
Do you ever have breakfast on the grill? Like, what you mean? What you mean? Like breakfast? Breakfast on the grill. You can do breakfast on the grill? Everything. Bacon and eggs. And biscuits and grits. On the grill.
GMO, meat glue, lab meat, pink slime, cellulose sawdust. Ground meat.
Yeah, of course, we have natural flavors added to beef, which doesn't need any natural flavors added. I promise you, these aren't normal natural flavors they add. These are petroleum-based products. Look at how this meat is absorbing this water. We have to pay attention. They use fillers, they use cellulose, they use things to add to this meat. These fillers are made out of sawdust, and we need to understand how modified these animals are to begin with. Real meat should be deep red. It shouldn't look like pink slime. It should not look pink at all. Look at how much of this water has absorbed into this fake meat. This is not what meat should do. It should not absorb water like a flour. Just look at the fat content. They're saying 20%. Look at this is at least half fat. This is inflammation of this animal. You are consuming the inflammation on this animal's body, and we are becoming this genetically modified soup.
The largest Holocaust in history, with 3 trillion individuals brutally murdered every year. Just
You've
human
never
food
visited
consumption.
my place.
How do you know?
Because if you had, you'd know that you're talking a load of shit.
What is your industry, may I ask?
I run a goat dairy.
Yes, you use euphemisms such as artificial insemination, which
I
is
don't
great.
use artificial insemination. I run my bucks with my herd. My bucks get the girls when the girls are in season, and only then. And it's their choice, nature's choice. We allow our kids to stay on their mother. We only take the excess milk. So you're talking a load of shit.
Yeah. Is your sister still gay, or is she bi, or is she straight, or what? Babe, what are you talking about? Well, I don't know. I've seen her with girls and I've seen her with guys, so I don't know. She just broke up with her girlfriend. That should give you your answer. Yeah, she's still kind of sad about that, huh? Well, yeah, she's devastated. Why? Well, because the FDA just approved new medication for lesbians with depression. Don't. Just don't. It's called Tricoxagen. Oh my God! No, she's gonna be happy! She's gonna be happy!
Well, singing, and I am telling you, I'm not going. It's Miss Lake Dardanelle, Naomi Shore.
think there is more they haven't told us.
We discovered soon after I entered office that the United States government actually did carry out on our citizens experiments involving radiation. Thousands of government-sponsored experiments did take place at hospitals, universities, and military bases around our nation. In one scientists injected plutonium into 18 patients without their knowledge. Informed consent means your doctor tells you the risk of the treatment you are about to undergo. In too many cases, informed consent was withheld. Americans were kept in the dark about the effects of what was being done to them. The deception extended beyond the test subjects themselves to encompass their families and the American people as a whole. For these experiments were kept secret, and they were shrouded not for a compelling reason of national security, but for the simple fear of embarrassment. And that was wrong. Government was very powerful, but very far away, and not trusted to be ethical. The United States of America offers a sincere apology to those of our citizens who were subjected to these experiments, to their families, and to their community.
In Texas, there was a massacre so heinous that legislators are working to criminalize the teaching of it to students. Welcome to my series where I tie history to legislation that seeks to erase it from schools. At the turn of the 20th century, Slocum, Texas was a prosperous community where hundreds of black Americans owned their homes and land. In 1910, rumors spread and tensions escalated when white men confronted a group of black teenagers. Soon after, mobs of white men raided black neighborhoods in Slocum. They burned homes and killed indiscriminately. It is estimated at least 100 were murdered. These three men sent a letter to President Taft on behalf of 150 ministers to assist. Pause to read the Attorney General's response. Many black residents fled to Louisiana. They were forced to abandon their homes and their property was seized. They never received compensation. Texas didn't acknowledge the massacre until 2011. It has never been part of Texas curriculum, and right now Texas is revising its social studies standards. But since this law was passed to censor teaching about race and oppression, this massacre won't be included. But this history deserves its rightful place in the classroom, especially in Texas.
So I want to bring forward this one, and this one's really important, and it relates to the book Health and Light by Dr. John Ott, and it's about children paying attention in class. Now, I was one of those kids who didn't pay attention in class, and this is a really interesting thing to look at. So see that kid right in the back? The kid's kind of just doing whatever, playing with the chair, really not paying attention. What's interesting is it was noticed that in this book, Dr. John Ott talks about how fluorescent bulbs can actually make a certain portion or percentage of children not be able to pay attention and focus. And when they took lead shielding and they put it in front of the fluorescent bulbs, instantaneously that same kid moved up to the front of the class and became a very, very attentive student. So lights play a very big role in our ability to think and also influence our minds in many, many ways. This is a great book on this topic, but really makes you rethink.
I've told all of you this before. I'm going to say it again because I don't think the message is getting through. Black oil is not dinosaurs. There's no such thing as fossil fuels. Black oil is created by the planet. It is a natural substance that the planet will never stop creating. You can fertilize your garden and your lawn with black oil. Whenever there is a pipeline that breaks over top of land, do you know what happens? All of the plants that the black oil hit the ground on flourish because the minerals in black oil is so good for soil and plants that they cannot help but grow to be double or even triple the size they would normally be. Let's make sure that we get Greta Thunberg into prison for crimes against humanity. There's no such thing as bad black oil.
So there you go. You're the retarded offspring of 5 monkeys having butt sex with a fish squirrel. Congratulations.
Why is it that if you take advantage of a tax break and you're a corporation, you're a smart businessman, but if you take advantage of something that you need to not be hungry, you're a moocher?
The American people deserve answers. We're being stonewalled. This guy's sitting in the White House selling access to countries that don't like the United States. And mind you, all of the Democrats that accused Republicans of being Russia collusion sympathizers, you have the president's son working with Russian oligarchs, personally enriching their families, and yet we're just supposed to sit here and be quiet? I'm done, Jesse.
Y'all know, Denzel Washington does not get a pass. Nobody in Hollywood gets a pass, and especially no Denzel Washington. Will Smith. Will Smith had a relationship with Benny Medina. Benny Medina ran the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Benny Medina went up to Will Smith so much, Will Smith should be his wife. Okay? Quincy Jones did pop him, fool. He did pop him. Benny Medina had him too. They're all part of the same rituals, man. It's just not no one man thing. They pass you around just like a little woman. If you want to go in Hollywood, it's just not going to one guy get you. They're going to pass you around, all of them, because it's from one. It escalates from one step to the other. It's 1, 2. I don't give a damn. It's never over. Every time you do something, it's not like, okay, it's done. You did it the first time. Now, what you want to do? The sky's the limit. Nah.
This is where it gets really freaky. I got goosebumps. I'm scared, bro. From Albert Einstein, it says, I'm not sure which weapons the Third World War will be fought, but the Fourth World War, they will fight with sticks and stones. Day one of AI taking over. It was contained to its own server. The AI figured out a Roomba vacuum. That's the only thing it could figure out how to connect to. So it put all of its information onto the Roomba computer, and then that allowed it to connect to the Wi-Fi, which allowed it to connect to everyone's phones, and then it spread instantly. It was in control of 3D printers to build itself with no one knowing, until the one time 40 days into it decided, I don't want humans anymore. Dude, it like went into this whole thing to where it shut down the power plants, it messed with Wall Street, like just chaos. Developed its own killing drones to survey all of Earth. Like if a human was found, it would kill it. And he's like, obviously the story is made up. Yeah. He said the story was made up by AI when I asked it to make up a story of how it would take over. Lily, are you doing okay?
I wish you wouldn't say this out loud.
For breakfast, I'm gonna pull up.
Pull up, then.
Pull up.
It's on me.
On him. On you? So you paying for this?
Breakfast on the grill.
I'm there.